Hi, afternoon. I'm an app developer. I'm based in Glasgow. I've been involved in digital media for the last 15 years. I've recently been lucky enough to be working on a project with Northlight Heritage. Part of that project is creating a new heritage-based app based around Shettleston in the East End of Glasgow. So this is how it's going to look something like this. Yeah. And it should be out later this year. I've also worked for some of the following organisations on app projects, which has been interesting, including the Forestry Commission, Dumfries Galloway and Renfrewshire Council. So apps can be defined as small software applications that are downloaded for a specific purpose to a specific device. And as you know, apps have gained huge popularity over the last years with both with consumers and businesses alike. So they're now available on multiple platforms, which is obviously great if you're a consumer. But it does present big issues if you're thinking of making apps, because how do you decide which type of app is the right for your project? So there are many types of mobile apps, and I was going to have a look at some of their attributes to determine which might be right for you. So yeah, the three main types of apps are native apps, web apps, and hybrid apps. So first of all, native apps, these are what you would normally think of when you think of apps that are downloaded. They're downloaded from a specific app store. It could be Android's Google Play or iTunes for iPhone. So you would arrive at an icon on the home screen. The app would be completely saved from the app store down onto the device. So often, once it's downloaded, it doesn't actually need a network connection after that, so you're free to use the app time and time again. It gives you full access to the device goodies. That's the camera and location and GPS and those types of aspects of the hardware, which is great. I mean, that's the most developed type of app, but there is a drawback because for each different technology platform, you'd have to create a new app for each one, like for Android or for iPhone or for Windows phones, so there's a duplication of effort across all of those platforms. But you do arrive with probably the most formed product with native apps. So the second column here is web apps. They're quite different from the native apps in that they continually need access to the internet. So you need a www to supply the information down into a web app. They do look like an app, but technically it's really a website. But you can also get an icon on your home screen, whichever device that you're using. But once you switch off the network connection, that's it, the app's gone. So you really need a network connection at all times to be using a web app. They also have limited access to the device hardware in terms of the camera and GPS and location and such like. But one of their strengths and strong points is that they're just far easier to develop than column one, so and probably far cheaper as well. So that's worth considering if your budget is limited. So the third column here is hybrid apps, and no surprise that it's a mixture of one and two. Hybrid apps use the web technologies of web apps, so that could be HTML5 or JavaScript, and combine the native app structure to enable a hybrid app to be downloaded from specific app stores. So you introduce what's called a native wrapper. You take your web technologies, put it in the wrapper, and it's able to be downloaded from iTunes or Google Play. So it's quite a neat way of introducing, if you're more proficient in web technologies, then you can choose to develop apps using that route. Also, because you're using the same programming language for each app store, it reduces the effort and consequently the price as well. Also, because you're using the native technologies, it still gives you full access to the device goodies, so the location-based services and such like. So the hybrid app's kind of tricky to get a handle on, but it's kind of like if you give me a DVD, I can put that in an app wrapper and then play it on a Blu-ray machine. So that's a kind of equivalent, or for a different generation, if you give me a Betamax tape, I can put it in an app wrapper and play it in a VHS. So it really depends on what your project is, which type of app might suit your needs. Some projects I've been involved in recently I've been this app. This is called Look Up Paisley. It was a heritage-based audio trail, obviously in Paisley. And we chose the native app option for this project because some of the requirements were that if people were inside buildings and they were listening to audio content, they might not have as much of a network connection as they normally do when they're outside. So really, all of the audio content had to be downloaded within the app. Similarly, well, because it was a tourism project partially, so people might be coming from overseas, and because of the crazy data roaming charges, they might have their data switched off completely. So the best option for the Paisley app was native. Another project was Tree Trunk. This was a hybrid app. That gave us the best results for the project because it reduced the budget. We were able to use the same programming across iPhone and Android platforms. So, because I'm running out of time, thanks for listening. Please come along for a chat later. I'll be in room 4.